class warfare. Yeah, we'll call it class warfare because we've got a struggle amongst the classes. So for this class warfare, we started out with the 8th grade versus the freshmen. Now it's the freshmen versus the sophomores. Greg Johnson over the halfway line to Holman. Holman across the court to Fitzpatrick. His shot no good, but the freshmen retain possession for a moment. Whitehead's not really grabbing the ball. And now the freshman in some trouble as they incredibly get out of the trouble. Johnson just sort of throwing over his shoulder. And it all worked out. Fitzpatrick to Prather. Prather driving in, mid-range shot. Bounces off. Plays Laronia with the rebound. Timeout. Coach John Kint, who is working with these sophomores. Hopefully we'll see some different personnel out on the court during this Parents' Weekend. Chris Halligan's our producer. Raphael Dvorak is our cameraman. I'm Marla Gazzoli, describing what I see. Here at the Coliseum for this class warfare, which I have decided to call this. Class warfare, the struggle amongst the classes between the sophomores and the freshmen. Sophomore, of course, coming from the Greek, meaning wise fool, from sophos for wise and moros for fool. Romero, 3 points from the top of the key. There's a great woo came up from the crowd. Greg Johnson. Oh, the much-awaited change in personnel has happened on the floor for the sophomores. We have Matthew Romero, 13, Dominic Schell, 14, Benjamin Halligan, number 11, Jonah Sumdahl, number 20, and Daniel Duggan, number 10. Charles Prather fouled as he went to the hoop. A block by Ben Halligan. It's 24-33 in the class warfare, the class struggle. And we have a new cameraman. Saulo Cruz has taken over on the camera. Fresh off the court. Charles Prather makes his free throw with ease, producing a fine parabolic arc as the refs talk amongst themselves. 2 points for Charles Prather. Romero taking the ball across the court. Duggan to Schell as Schell gets fouled by Charles Prather. And Dominic Schell will be at the free throw line. Dominic Schell, perhaps most famous for his three-pointers as an 8th grader. He goes for mid-range jumper, no good. Ben Halligan, also no good. Greg Johnson with the rebound. As Greg Johnson takes the ball across the court. Ian Whitehead to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick to Johnson. Johnson to Prather amongst the various defenders. 2 points for Prather. Coach Golightly is excited for these freshmen. Freshmen having quite a good matchup against both the 8th graders and the sophomores. 2 minutes or a little over just remaining in this quarter. Ben Halligan at the top of the key. Ben Halligan from New York. Dominic Schell, as I said, going for one of his famous 3 points, but no good. Greg Johnson to Fitzpatrick. He faked the 3 to Holman. Mid-range jumper, no good. Duggan takes possession of the ball. As possession is lost, Fitzpatrick to Johnson over his head. Johnson losing the ball and traveling in the process. Or perhaps he traveled first and then he lost the ball. A timeout for Coach John Kent. I wish I could say we have sponsors. I guess we don't, though. But I will give some free advertisement to Wanda's Kitchen. Wanda's Kitchen in Georgetown, Illinois. Best gyros around. Very good gyros. In this blue and white class warfare matchup on this parents' weekend, homecoming weekend, alumni weekend, Sexagesima weekend, Valentine's Day next weekend. There's still time, husbands, to acquire flowers. There's a floral shop in Georgetown, too. Many such sights to see here in Vermilion County, Illinois, home of your La Salette Lions. Matthew Romero taking the ball across the court to Dominic Schell, who lost it but regained it. Guarded closely by Eamon Martin, but not close enough as Romero was past the ball. Now Duggan to Schell. Schell to Sumdahl. Sumdahl amidst the various freshmen. The pass is missed and goes out of bounds. Prather to Johnson. Johnson to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick out to Martin, who goes for a 3. Well short. Matthew Romero taking possession. And he passed it out to Jonah Sumdahl. His attempt, no good. Just under 30 seconds remaining in this third period of this class warfare. And apparently Max Babbitt started chanting 4-3-4, 3-2-1, despite the fact there was well over 20 seconds remaining. Classic gamesmanship as Matthias Schell watches from the corner, watches his younger brother upon the court. Eamon Martin, his 3 attempt no good. Ben Halligan's last minute shot, not off in time. Doesn't really matter anyway because it didn't go in. But hey, it's 26-37 as we are on the verge of entering the fourth quarter. Marlo Gazzoli here, Chris Halligan, and Salo Cruz. Dominic Dvorak is working the scoreboard, and Patrick Duggan is working the scorebook. And next to him is Marcel Lefebvre, and next to him is John Gagnon. And I don't know what John Gagnon is doing, but he's here. As we prepare for the fourth quarter of play in this. First it was 8th grade versus freshmen, now it's freshmen versus sophomores, and I guess for our feature entertainment tonight, we'll have the juniors versus the seniors, maybe? Presumably? I don't know. but it will be basketball entertainment as George Mackin of the sophomores prepares to throw the ball to one of his teammates, namely Eduardo Gonzalez. Back bounce pass to Mackin, who traveled. The freshmen remain the dominant force on the court. 37 points to the 26 combined points of the 8th grade and sophomores. As Johnson's pass stolen by George Mackin to the hoop, 2 points for George. Romero intercepts. And Daniel Bergman on the floor for the sophomores. Bergman to Mackin, Mackin to Gonzalez. Gonzalez to Bergman in the paint. His shot, however, well, not a shot, but his attempt to score, no good. Nor was that of George Mackin. As you can see in the corner, Manny Garcia, Derwin Wilson, Thomas Schrader looking on. Holman to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick almost losing it. To Johnson. Johnson making his way out to Prather. Prather unguarded, but unable to make the most of that opportunity. Matthew Romero weaving in and out, making his way to the hoop, but unable to place it exactly. George Mackin, however, harvests another 2 points. And it's 30-37 as Gonzalez knocked the ball out of the hands of Johnson for a brief while. Martin bounce pass to Prather, but sort of not taken cleanly, and remains in the possession of the sophomores. Or was taken by the sophomores. Romero to Mackin. Mackin doing quite a wind-up for that layup. Looking like an old-timey baseball pitcher. Greg Johnson over the halfway line. Gonzalez batting the ball away, taken in by Martin, who was in a trap, but he got out of that. And just goes to the hoop. The sophomores were so shocked that they did not pursue. Mackin into Romero. To Bergman. He thought about a 3, but Holman was guarding him closely. Out to Gonzalez. He also faked the 3. Bergman once again driving into the paint, but travels. Johnson over the halfway line, stolen by Gonzalez. Gonzalez to the hoop. Well, he's traveled. He jumped. Greg Johnson, just under 5.5 minutes remaining, to Whitehead. Whitehead to the hoop, but no good. 2 shots. 2 shots to Charles Prather. In this second half, this fourth quarter, we're almost in this, let's see, we're in the 7th, 8th. Charles Prather's first free throw attempt, unsuccessful. A swing and a miss into the seats, out of play. George Mackin to Romero. Romero takes it over the halfway line, past Eamon Martin to Blaise Laronia, whose layup attempt was too parabolic. A foul on Romero, number 13. Holman throwing in for the freshman. Johnson facing off against Eduardo Gonzalez, who fouls him. Just under 5 minutes remaining in this class warfare, this class struggle between the sophomores and the freshmen. Whitehead to Prather. Prather's getting fouled in the process and will once again step to the line. Chris Halligan's our producer. Salo Cruz is our cameraman. As Charles Prather's first free throw is good. Through the wickets. Straight through the uprights. Second attempt, also good. As Romero takes it across the halfway line and bumps. And no, it's Martin who fouls Romero. And so George Mackin shall throw the ball in as Johnson attempts to prevent him from doing so. Mackin to Romero, takes it over the halfway line. Bounce pass to Gonzalez in the corner. Gonzalez to Bergman, he goes for a three, and it bounces off the rim. A cruel twist of fate. Prather into Whitehead. Whitehead in trouble to Martin and loses it. Romero to Mackin. Mackin closely guarded by Whitehead. Laronia taking it in. Bounces off the glass. Whitehead with the rebound. Whitehead out to Prather. Prather to Johnson. Johnson taking it over halfway line to Prather in the corner. Goes for a long range two, but he makes it. Another 2 points for Charles Prather as it's 41-30. 4 minutes, just under 4 minutes now remaining in this fourth quarter in this game. George Mackin, no good. Rebound by Eamon Martin. Martin taking it himself over the halfway line. To Greg Johnson. Johnson at the top of the key. Down the side of the paint. His attempt no good. Martin with rebound. His attempt also no good. Matthew Romero over the halfway line. To Mackin in the corner. Mackin holding the ball. But to Romero, whose attempt is good. 2 points for Matthew Romero of Los Angeles, California. City of the Angels. Prather to Johnson. Out of bounds. As Coach John Kint sends some fresh legs onto the court. That being a use of synecdoche, using the part to refer to the whole set of anyway. On the court now, we have Ben Halligan, Matthew Romero, Daniel Duggan, Jonah Sumdahl, and Dominic Schell, which makes this a shell game. Matthew Romero taking it over the halfway line. 2 minutes, 30 seconds. Schell with that three-pointer attempt. No good. Duggan pushed sort of out of bounds. Holman throws in to Greg Johnson. Greg Johnson taking it over the halfway line to Fitzpatrick. William Fitzpatrick. The ball knocked away by Duggan. Fitzpatrick guarded by Halligan. Going out of bounds. Michael McCall is the manager for the sophomores. I don't know who's managing for the freshmen. Cannot see. Charles Prather with the rebounds. Johnson taking his time. The freshman up 41 to the combined sophomore 8th grade side, 41-32. And once again, Coach John Kint calling for a timeout to speak with his sophomoric players. Well, it's 32-43. Minute 38 remaining in this fourth quarter and this class warfare, this matchup between amongst the classes, this class struggle. With the sophomores, well, first we had the 8th graders going up against the freshmen. Now we have the freshmen playing the sophomores. And you would think that the sophomores would have the upper hand. But the freshmen have made a good performance. Although I suppose they did start at quite a bit of an advantage. Dominic Schell, he's on the wrong side of the court. So he comes, he's going to throw in Dominic Schell for the sophomores. Chuck Prather's getting a big workout. He's been playing almost nonstop. George Mackin, 2 points for these sophomores. As the sophomores have certainly crept back into the game for their side. Making it a 9-point game. Let's see, when the sophomores entered, they had 13 points and the freshmen had 33. So, yeah, the sophomores have indeed outscored the freshmen over the past 7 minutes. As there's just a minute remaining, Charles Prather steals it away, makes his way down to the hoop. Layup, and it falls for 2 points. Falls for 2 points. Under a minute, Mackin. Mac attack to Duggan. Duggan to Sumdahl. Sumdahl to Mackin. Mackin at the free throw line. His shot no good. Sumdahl up to the hoop, no good. Eamon Martin across the line. To Chuck Prather. Prather to Fitzpatrick. George Mackin going after Fitzpatrick. Whitehead. His shot, too much English on it. George Mackin taking the ball directly to the hoop. 2 points for George Mackin. And 7 seconds remaining in this class warfare. Martin, he passes to Holman, who makes a three-pointer attempt. No good. As this game comes to an end, well, this 2 half games comes to an end. So the freshmen defeated the 8th graders in that first half of play, and in the second half of play, let's see, the sophomores did indeed outscore, because the freshmen had 12 points, and the sophomores had more than that. So I guess the sophomores won that half. Well, we're going to have more basketball for you. I think the juniors are going to be taking on the seniors, but I'm really not sure. So take this opportunity to hit up your own concession stand in the comfort of your own home, or perhaps wherever you're watching this. We do hope that you will return shortly for more basketball action. Marlo Gazzoli signing off for now. Later is going to be greater.